a good old boy and he's got a story to tell. Tavin will mow your grass and make it look so well. Now Tavin goes donut goals when in town he comes, getting strength for his haunches to cannonball for fun.
Welcome to the Tavin Dillard Podcast, y'all guys. What they call me in my town is Tavin Dillard, but that's what I call myself too. So you know how when you meet somebody, you introduce yourself and you say, hey, this is my name. Then that's how they know that's your name, and that's how they know what to call you. Now, folks got nicknames. I know that. You know that. Folks call Myron Curtis Bean Dip. But I'm Tavin. But I am a mowing, edging, grass cutting legend. I got Tavin's Lawn Care Services, and I sure am glad you have joined me today for the Tavin Dillard Podcast. This is like a radio show, y'all guys. Even in the summer times, it don't switch up what it is just because the seasons change and Meemaw's in her summer moo-moos and not her flannel moo-moos no more like Attaway, and the city pool's open and the cannonballs are dropping into the poo, and also the watermelon helmets is getting carved. And if you've been keeping up on me with me on the Instagrams or TikToks or Facebooks or the YouTubes or them social media sites that they have out there floating in the interwebs, then you'd know that I've been busy with the watermelon helmet. And it ain't just the watermelon helmet, y'all guys. It's the delivery helmet. What does it deliver, Tavin? Anything. I got a baby doll delivery mechanisms on the back, and it's really just two little holes cut in the back where you shove the fist of the baby doll in there so they hold on while you riding to town on your bike or whatever. So I got a couple videos showcasing the baby doll holder on the delivery helmet. I also got the old, what do they call it? I had a bag of taters, just them little baby taters in a bag. You can corn cob that to the side, poke that to the side of the helmet, keep that in town. I had some them saltine crackers on there, but you could have hot fries. You could have a piece of bacon. Had a donut on there too. There's all kinds of things you can carry on the delivery helmet this summer for a delightful time with you and yourn. So don't sleep on the watermelon helmet. If you think, oh, it's not for me, you're wrong. It's for you. You're gonna love it. Okay, y'all guys, I'm going to take a little sip of the old sweet tea here because it's summer times and that's the right thing to do. Wet my whistle as we talking a little bit about, I'm just going to get some text messages. They've been coming in. I probably don't get them all, y'all. I mean, I read them all, but I don't remember to say them all on the podcast. But you know what? I'm going to get to some that's been here in my inbox for over a week. And I'm going to tell Patrick right now, I'm talking about this on the podcast so that he knows that he can check the podcast and hear me answer his questions. So his text message to me was, hey, bud, I was wondering, my city has a cafeteria inside the hospital. Yep, I've heard of them. That is well known for its fantastic food. Do you have anything like that, or maybe like a food truck that the locals know well? I think inside the clinic there's a vending machine. Like if your kid busts his head open, falling off a swing set or something, you can get out to the clinic thing, and all of a sudden, then you got some help out there. And if you're out there too long, you can get to that vending machine. But I feel like that's snacks and maybe like a little soda pop and maybe like a candy bar, that kind of thing. But I wouldn't say it's all-star food that somebody's cooking out there. And that kind of thing. So that's the deal on that. But if you're talking about good places to eat in town, if that's all you're talking about, Patrick, then not a food truck. I'm looking at text here. We got Bickham's all-you-can-eat catfish buffet, and I think I said a catfish buffet. We got Burger Shed, which is my softball team is sponsored by them, and I do have an update on how the season's going later. Of course, we got the Sonic in town, which is in a lot of town. Donut goes, but that's just for donuts. It ain't all for all your kind of foods. Now, what's good, you don't want to sleep on the old fishing clips out at the lake that Rance Farnhart runs, where you get fresh fish, fried fish out there too. Really good fish and chips out there. The reason it's called Fish and Clips is because he give haircuts out there too, by the lake. So dimmer some in my town. Now, thanks for shooting that text message to me. I want to see who else. Mackenzie just said, oh, she got somebody in her town that plays softball with a walker. So you thinking about Mort Dwidell in a walking boot, just imagine somebody using a walker getting their foot hurt and out there with a walker still getting it done. I mean, that's when you know you got somebody to you can depend on. I mean, if you out there with a walker, you basically saying ain't nothing gonna slow me down. I like that. Jacob said, Jacob Phillips texted me, "Hi, Tavin. We're wondering if those ladies who work the concession stand get paid for their extracurricular treats they bring to the fields to sell." Okay, so you ain't asking Jacob if they, let me tell him, talking about this on the podcast too, so he knows as well on the podcast. So you ain't just asking if they get paid to work the concession stand. You asking if they get paid for the extra stuff they bring. Like when Mary Beth Tucker decides she's going to have like a cupcake decorating night or that kind of thing. Any of that stuff, I can tell you right now, full-blown extracurricular stuff like that away, that's on them. They shouldering all that expense because nobody asked them to do that, and then you can't sneak it in like that away and say, oh yeah, by the way, like if I go mow somebody's lawn and we agreed on a price, and I say, oh, you know what else I did? I hung up Christmas lights and I redecorated your living room, and here's the bill. Well, they didn't ask me to do none of that. And so why are they going to pay for that? That wasn't even made, they might not even wanted that kind of thing. So they don't get no extra money for that, and they don't get paid to work at that concession stand. What they do, well, I won't say they get paid, but they volunteer, and there's just folks that help make the town go. But what happens is they ain't buying none of that food. If they get hungry, they getting that food for free in the concession stand while they on their shift. I don't even think it's a discount. It's like, well, just take what you want. But I mean, within reason, they ain't had to get to the point where Mary Beth Tucker, you can't have 20 bags of Skittles or nothing like that. That ain't going on yet. So people reasonably honest. I mean, we ain't having Cindy Mydell or Delma Spencer work the concession stand, that's for sure. Then we have some real problems. But thanks for checking on me with that one. Good question. And then Jerry said to me, hey, Tavin, Jerry from Cleveland, not sure if you planning on doing a fireworks safety video this year. If you were, it'd be awesome to incorporate some material from your old stop, drop, and roll video. That's definitely one of my all-time favorites. Keep the great material coming. Always excited to see your new stuff. And hopefully hear my new stuff, because this is a podcast. It's like a radio show, Jerry. I don't know. You know, I probably need to get going on that today, shooting a brand new fireworks safety video for this year's, the old stop, drop, and roll. That's, my brother had to do that around a Buick that was in the yard when he got hit in the chest and the guts with a Roman candle that backfired on him. That's why folks got to know to be safe, and I'm happy to help them. So maybe I will do that, Jerry. Thanks for the reminder. I forget stuff, y'all guys. When you've been putting videos on the interwebs for 19 years, somebody will say something, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I did talk about that. I did say that. That is true. There's folks in my show in Sweet Springs, Missouri in May that were talking about Possum Gland. You know, that's JT Whitlow's band, in the song Them Ain't Raisins. And I was like, that's right, they do have a song called Them Ain't Raisins. And they was pretty pumped about that. They was hoping there's a Possum Gland shirt, I think, but I ain't got a Possum Gland shirt. Might as well go for it, though, now that we're talking about it. I got a peg leg possum shirt. I got the brand new, what's it called? What's the name of that thing called? Possum Keef, like patriotic shirt, that's the word, like a 4th of July shirt. And hey, I'll tell you guys right now, if you go to the link in the show notes today and you put in the code POSSUM, P-O-S-S-U-M, you know, no O at the front, just Possum. At checkout on my shirts, it's 20% off this week. We trying to, you know, if you want to load up on the patriotic shirts, you know, before 4th of July and get it delivered, get on that today. It's 20% off all my shirts, though. It could be Rachel Christine. Now, it could be a piece of bacon there, slice of bacon, whatever you want to call it, and cut off jean shorts, holding a sparkler, catching a Frisbee with the word freedom underneath it. I do have that. But there's also the Thunder Punch shirt, Thunder Punch tank top. I think I said Rachel Christine, the Turkey Salmon, Cannonball Champ shirt, my Tavin's Mowing Edge and Grass Cutting Legend. All the early bird gets the perm shirts. There's a green one, there's a pink one, there's a blue one now. Let's see, what else do we got? We got Bank shirts, we got Peekaboo shirts, Peekaboo hats. It's 20% off any of that at checkout if you use the old Possum possum code this week. So get on that if you're interested in that. And let's get into what's going on in my neck of the woods this week. What's better than a slip and slide? Now, I ain't trying to say let's make a pros and cons list like that. I ain't saying we really doing like a hardcore research study here. We ain't going to get all analytical, but there's things better than a slip and slide. Okay, sure, I'll give you that. But you got the right surface, maybe even a hill and a steady flow of water, and it's hot outside. Come on. Take me to the slip and slide. Now, when I say slip and slide, I ain't talking about the official brand. I think that's the name of somebody's brand. Anything that you can slip on and slide on, like a tarp and water. However you do it. But I know you know what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about the fun zone. It's the place to go when it's so hot, you mad sitting inside and you mad standing outside in the shade. You just mad everywhere you go. Because the heat. Because that hot weather. So guess what I did this week? You better believe it. I beat the heat, y'all guys. I had to. Where's the best place to beat the heat? Well, there ain't a best place. City poo ain't bad. Can't slip and slide there, though. Can't run around the poo. That ain't safe. Coach Hicks will blow the whistle on you. I tell you right now, Chancellor Park ain't the place for a slip and slide. Have we done it? 100% we done it. Ain't no doubt about it. It hurts. A tarp on gravel and you're chest naked sliding on that thing? Been there. Done that, tried to make it fun, it hurts. We decided on the lake this week. That's right, bunch of folks was out there late afternoon, sun was out, it was H-O-T, hot. Cricket, Myron Curtis, Mary Beth Tucker, J.T. Whitlow, Whitney, Cody and Lindy Ray Mantell, and they kiddos, Russell Tucker and his boys. And you know who else showed up? You got any guesses who would show up in that group that was a little unexpected? Somebody wasn't on the radar, like, okay, they're liable to maybe show up, but we ain't planning on them being here. We ain't seen them in a while. Maybe they will, probably they won't. We ain't even thinking about him. My brother Brett. He's never invited officially. Well, it's not like he ain't invited, like I say, he just come and go, so we don't plan to really be doing life with that fella. He got his own ideas, but he showed up in cutoff jean shorts, tank top, and barefoot. Truth be told, I don't know how he got there. He's just walking from the front of Fishing Clips. That's the bait and tackle shop, you know, I was just talking about. Rance Farnhart owns it out by the lake. And straight behind the shop, between it and the lake, where we were setting up what turned out to be like a summer party. So you leave the bait and tackle shop or Fishing Clips, you know, off that patio there, and you walk toward the lake. Well, we were right there, you know, setting up the slip and slide stuff. So that's how it's going. Now, this ain't no town event. Don't hear me tell you that this is some sort of official event where they handed out flyers and they put it on the bulletin board at City Hall and people talking about in the shops and little local businesses got little flyers taped to their doors, or somebody did that, you know, window paint where they do it for Christmas times where they got like a reindeer and a sled and a Santa Claus with something that says like on sale today. We didn't have none of that. There was nothing about no summer party. This wasn't no official thing. It didn't have no official title. It didn't get no permit from the city. We didn't need none of that. It wasn't a party that was planned. It's one that just happened. Let me say that again. It wasn't a party that was just planned. It just happened. And sometimes them's the best kind of parties. You know, somebody get off work. What are you doing? Well, we out in front, we in the front yard. We got our feet in the kiddie poo. Come on over. Next thing you know, somebody else coming. All of a sudden, you got yourself a little summer party going. Well, we out there, and my brother Brett shows up. Myron Curtis got a new super soaker that he's pretty pumped to use. Rusty Tidwell shows up with his wife, and he's got a whole arsenal of super soakers. I mean a bunch. You know about them super soakers? Them guns. I don't know when they showed up, y'all guys. I remember them in the early 90s. I remember in the early 90s, they really got on the radar. I don't know. I think that's when the Toys R Us's was still in business, and you can go out to the outlet malls or the big cities that got them big toy stores. And I mean, you can go to the Walmarts and get some stuff too, but I mean, some of that stuff, you know how it is. You get so excited about it, you see a commercial and boy, it break in 3 minutes. I mean, like them water balloons, they make them look nice, but buddy, half of them break in your hands or when you're trying to fill them up at the water spout. Now, I know I don't know the science behind it. I didn't go to water balloon school, y'all guys, but I know they made them a little better in some ways, easier to fill up, this and that. I ain't even talking about water balloons, though. I'm talking about all these super soakers, these guns that you fill with water, not them little pistols, not them little yellow pistols as you get for a prize at somebody's birthday party, a little 18 birthday party in the 80s, and them little pistols, and you trying to pull out that little white little knuckle that plugs in the hole for the water. You pull that out with your teeth, and then you try to get it underneath the faucet or something and fill that thing up, and then you try to shove that little thing, plug that hole up in the bottom of that gun, and then you squeak, 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 squeak. About the 9th time, water starts coming out of it, and boy, it just annoys somebody. I mean, they don't feel like they got shot. They don't even know if they got hit, or just like a little breeze came by and some sort of little dew hit them. It wasn't much to them little tiny pistols. But then all of a sudden, one day, lo and behold, that super soaker showed up on the scene, and all of a sudden, fellas getting real with it, boy. They steady going to battle like, hey, I got something, boy. You feel it if I hit you with this water gun. I mean, a steady stream, and it holds a lot of water, so you ain't running back to the faucet every 8.5 seconds to get a little refill on that tiny little water pistol. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know if, Rusty just drives around with all these super soakers in his truck in the bed of that lowered mini truck of his, or if he knew there's just going to be a chance, to use them, or he was planning, like he heard we was out there and he showed up with all these super soakers because he wanted us to have a party. I don't know. I didn't ask Rusty that. Like I said, this ain't official. Folks is showing up to cool off. You just bring what you think's going to work best. Once Rusty got there with all them water rifles, we all figured that was a good place to start this party. That's a good place to start this party. Rance has Misty Fizdale. She's working the kitchen inside Fishing Clips to serve the regular customers. He has a barbecue that he rolls out just for fun, too. And so, he got things to cook on. Russell, he brought some marinated chicken to grill. Cricket brought steaks. Cody Mantell brought burgers. Cricket said she didn't feel like a water gun fight, so she's going to be the grill master. Have at it. She got a couple coolers next to the barbecue with the stuff that folks brought to grill, and she gets going. And if your gal says, don't hit me with a water gun, you don't hit her with the water gun. I learned that from my meemaw years ago, and that carried over into adulthood for me. But anyhow, she got a couple coolers next to the barbecue with stuff that folks bought to grill. She was getting going. Well, Donnie Wayne Chambliss, he can't see a party right outside the repair shed where he works and not join in. He run that repair shed 100 yards from Fishing Clips right out there by the lake. So he's working. It's nice for him to have some company down there. I mean, he got company like customers during the day, but then he sees his pals out there having a good time. All of a sudden, he's like, maybe it's time to put the going to lunch sign up a little earlier, or whatever you want to call it kind of thing. So Donnie Wayne is being part of this. Wouldn't be right for him to miss out on that. He walks over, he sees the water guns, then like a light bulb went off. He did an about face, headed back to his repair shed for something. Donnie Wayne repairs stuff. He tinkers with things. He makes stuff. He takes stuff that's already made and he makes it better. He takes things apart. He puts them back together. There are the things, this is the kind of things that all Donnie Wayne does over in that repair shed. You got a mind for it. He got a mind for it. His daddy did too. It's hereditary. Like any game or activity, you can get as heavy as you want on the rules or the boundaries and the point system and the penalties and all that. You can really set it up. And those folks that say, okay, these are the rules. This is the standards. This is how we're going to do it. And then others of us just say, hey, let's just go. Let's just see what happens. And then, that's the streams, and then people fall in between them lines. But we went pretty loose and free with this one. We just get a water gun, fill it with water, and shoot other people and try not to get wet. So run away or hide or whatever. Whitney didn't want to be in the water gun fighting either, but she really wanted that slip and slide set up. So that's what she did. She was steady working on the slip and slide while folks were getting started on the water gun fight, while Cricket was getting going on the grill. And I guess you can kind of get the picture of what's going on in this summer party, late June party. Well, like I said, Fishing Clips is still open, so folks will show up for a late lunch or whatever, and that's exactly what Imogene and Raymond Watkins did. You know about them? I feel like you do know about them. I mowed a lawn, or should I say lawns, front yard and backyard. Mowed them this week. Matter of fact, Imogene will keep you, though. She likes conversation. She'll talk to you. And as a lawn mowing man, talking to folks comes with the job. Now, I suppose you can do what I do and not be a people person, as they say. But where's the fun in that? I mean, really. You get to the end of your life and said, boy, I didn't talk to nobody, but I got my work done. Come on. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to tell you about the Black Nanner if I didn't stop and talk and take Imogene up on the offer for a glass of ice water. But that's a story for a different time, if you ain't heard that one. Okay, you can mow a lawn, you can leave an envelope for them to pay you, and you can get on down the road, is what I'm saying. And sometimes I do that. I don't talk to everybody all day because I got to get my work done. I ain't saying every single lawn I work is going to be a big old conversation. You got to pick your moments. And sometimes I do have to tell Imogene Watkins that I got to go. If you end up at the Watkins, they kindly want it to be an event. You'll get invited in, and who knows where it goes from there. Unless they're out in the lawn chairs in the front yard, then they'll just pull up a chair for you. You probably know about that. Raymond's into remote control planes too. I think you know that. Cars as well, not just planes. But them planes, they really got his attention these days. And I can see why it's fun. But if you ain't a good pilot, and I ain't a good pilot, then you spend a lot of time trying to put things back on the plane that got knocked off when you ran it into a hedge or a car or a telephone pole, tree, bike, person, the ground. It could be a lot, y'all guys. That's all I'm saying. Anyhow, that's Raymond and Imogene Watkins, and they're pulling up to fishing clips in a Buick LeSabre. By now, we are running all over the place trying to shoot each other with them mortar rifles. Well, Marybeth Tucker, she's a good shot. Myron Curtis already fell in the lake. He's so concerned about his new Super Soaker that he's panicking, trying to throw it to shore because he landed in the lake holding this Super Soaker. He knows there's a little bit of money, that goes with them things, and so he's tossing that thing to shore while he's in the lake. Like he's probably got a phone in his pocket, but all he cares about is not losing this new water gun. And thing about it is, it wasn't like somebody pushed him in. He just ran out of land. He knows where the lake is. We was all right there by it, but he starts running and ends up inside the old lake. Nobody had to shoot water at Myron to get him wet. He's done soaked. He went full body into the lake like that away, and in case you're concerned, his Super Soaker did indeed make it back to shore, where Rusty Tidwell promptly picked it up and unloaded it on Myron while he was climbing back to dry land. Talk about insult to injury. Myron's getting soaked with his own Super Soaker and no weapon to defend himself with. But that's kind of the price you pay for not knowing there's a lake behind you and running right into it. I mean, he knowed it was there. I guess he thought the land went out a little farther, but that's all on Myron. By now, though, Raymond Watkins, he's shuffled over and he's talking to Whitney, who's working on that slip and slide, and Raymond's got his hands on his hips. You know how this old fella will walk up to you, man, has seen some days, lived some life, and been there and done that. He's just got his hands on his hips, no big rush, and he's talking down and he says to her, "You gonna run the water all down there?" Pointing. He points to the tarp there, looks over at the water hose that's on the ground nearby. Whitney dragged it down from fishing clips to the grass over near the lake. "Yes, sir," she says. Raymond nods, and he scratches his head, so he had to take one of the hands off his hips to do that. And Raymond just asks, "You reckon I can give it a try?" Whitney shrugs. I'm nearby, and I hear all this, y'all guys, and I can't just let this go, so I call out to Raymond. "Raymond, you want to go on a slip and slide?" "I sure am, Tavin. You going?" I said, "I reckon I am, but I don't recommend you doing that, Raymond." And he just asked me like he's almost offended. "How come?" I said, "Well, you ain't got no swim britches on, and that's a lot of impact on your body going from standing to flat on your belly, Raymond." He just said, it's a lot of impact on your body too, Tavin." That's what he said. So he's getting a little sharp with me. And I ain't trying to make Raymond mad. I'm actually trying to help him out. I mean, I don't want Raymond Watkins with a broken rib having to drive to the clinic in a Buick LeSabre. That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. And I said, "It sure is a lot of impact on my body, Raymond." And then he just raises his voice at me. He says, "You saying I'm old?" Now, actually, I didn't know that had to be said. Everybody knows that. Raymond is old. And you always hear about how easy bones can get broke the older you get. So I'm thinking all this. But all I can really think to actually say out loud is, "Did you bring a towel, Raymond?" Buddy, he pauses. Then he looks at the ground like he's working a crossword puzzle, only thing he ain't. But for whatever reason, this made sense to Raymond. "I sure don't. I can't afford to track mud and water into that LeSabre." He knows Rance runs the place, so he hollers to Rance, who runs by chasing Cody Mantell with a Super Soaker. "Hey, you got a shower here?" That's what Raymond hollers to Rance Farnhart. Rance just keeps running but responds, "No shower here, Mr. Watkins." About that time, Imogene hollers at Raymond, "Lunch is ready, Raymond." She's at that fishing clips. I told you Imogene's a talker, but a lot of what that happens in her own yard. Like she's ready to talk in her own yard. She's home. When she's out and about, she's on a mission. And looks like a mission today was lunch at fishing clips out on the patio. She wanted her and Raymond to be out there on that patio eating lunch. She didn't want him standing by a super soaker, hands on his hips, considering, muddying up the LeSabre and all that. Now, once they sit down and you walk over near their table, you better be ready to talk. Or listen, probably listen. Well, I was soaked. Felt good on a hot day. Cricket was grilling. Myron was laid out on the shore like a starfish. Whitney was getting that slip and slide dialed in. All that means is that it's pinned down at both ends and there's water running on it. That's how you get a slip and slide dialed in. There's an art to the slip and slide. Don't ever go leaning back, that's for sure. If you actually going to slide on it, don't lean back. You got to go full force forward because you'll keep going that way if you lean back, and you'll end up hitting your head on the ground and going down the slip and slide backwards on your back. It's really meant to be a head first thing, y'all. Maybe that's how I got so good at stealing bases, all that slip and slide growing up. You wouldn't know it by looking at him, but Donnie Wayne Chambliss is a pro. I didn't even say this, but while Raymond is over there inspecting the slip and slide, Donnie Wayne was lighting up everybody with his high-powered water rifle rig he put together. I told you he tankers with things. Donnie Wayne's got a laugh too. You ain't got to guess when Donnie Wayne's having a good time. He'll just let you know. You know somebody like that? Boy, they let you know when they're having a good time. Not on purpose. They just can't help it. Well, he's laid down his weapon and motors to that slip and slide, goes airborne, lands a picture-perfect Olympic-level slip and slide launch. All time. Donnie Wayne's breaking records right here. The slip and slide ain't right against the lake, but it's aimed at the lake. But you'd have to have some serious projection to slide into the lake because there's about 10 feet of grass between the edge of the lake and the edge of the slip and slide tarp. You see how this is going, y'all guys? Well, I'm here to tell you that Donnie Wayne Chambliss went right into the lake. I mean, he set that bar high, being the first one on the slip and slide. I went on it. Little out of practice, okay, I'll tell you that, but good contact with the tarp. I slipped and I slided, so that's a win. And I got cooled off. We was steady beating the heat. I don't know how y'all do it, but you're welcome to take a tip from me. Could be the slip and slide, could be the super soaker, could be a kiddie poo, could be the city poo, could be the lake. Russell's boys, Ronnie, Keith, and Jesse, they got on that thing. Smaller fellas can really fly, but I guess Donnie Wayne Chambliss didn't get that memo because he was flying, and he's sturdy. Myron Curtis was still winded from falling in the lake. I prefer to slip and slide on the shore and then just not going into the lake. Y'all know I prefer to see what I'm jumping into, and the lake's got all kind of creatures in there, and you can't see them, but you can feel them, and that ain't my preference. Don't hear me say I didn't do a couple cannonballs off the dock, because I did, but it ain't my favorite. That's what I'm saying. I needed somebody in there first to scare off anything that's down there. I ain't the first one in the lake usually, okay? I ain't the first one in the lake usually. You're probably wondering what happened to my brother Brett, because I told you he was there. Well, I was wondering the same thing, y'all guys. Turns out he stole the paddle boat. He got stuck in the middle of the lake. It is unlocked, so he just took it. You supposed to rent them. Rance Farnhart and Myron Curtis got that little side business going out there, and my brother Brett just took off with one. The reason it's unlocked was because Myron and Rance, because they owned the place, they was going to fix it. The paddle was broke, or the pedals, I don't know. But Brett got stuck, and Rance went and fetched him later. I guess Brett didn't want to jump in the lake and swim because he had a smartwatch he got. Somehow he got a smartwatch. I don't know how. But it was in the pocket of them jean shorts, those cut-off jean shorts of his, and he didn't want to break it. Cricket's got chicken and burgers ready to go on the grill. Steaks took a little longer. Is great. Rance Farnhart, he brought some drinks down from the bait and tackle. Imogene came over to us and told us to wait there. We wasn't going anywhere, but I guess she wanted to be sure. Said she had some peaches in the car she wanted us to share. Well, I was not about to eat one of them peaches that's been in a bag cooking in that LeSabre, but she brought it down. She loves to hand out the produce. Don't I know it? I mean, y'all know, you can go a couple episodes back in this podcast. Here's what happened to me in a peach at the softball fields. If you need to, I ain't going to rehash that today either. Well, I was not about to eat a peach, but I was going to cool off. We ate. I mean, it was a regular summer party. I ate the chicken. I had a burger, and then it happened, y'all guys. Storm rose in. Downpour. If it wasn't wet before, or if we wasn't wet, or if you wasn't wet, you was now. The rain showed up. The food was almost gone anyway. So we cleaned it up, and that storm did what storms do. And our softball game got canceled this week. Ain't that how it goes? It's a full-on, hot summer day, and then it's raining. Well, I can't say we didn't get our exercise even without a softball game this week. And I really do hope that your summer is going well. It's always great to hear from y'all guys during the week. I can't probably always get to every single text message, but I might be saving some of them for the Q&A that comes up at the end of the season anyway. But I really want y'all to check them show notes today because the sale is on. 20% off if you want a shirt, any of mine. Get them now with the code POSSUM. You'll see all that info in the show notes today. I sure appreciate y'all joining me on the Tavin Dillard podcast. It's like a radio show. Check them show notes for all that's going on. Stay in touch. You got my number and my email, 501-322-6249. That's in the show notes. Or tavindillard@gmail.com. Got that in the show notes for you too today. All of that you need. And hey, if you didn't fall in the lake with a new super soaker this week because you forgot where the shore ends and had to swim, climb, and huff it back to shore, you having a pretty good week. Me, I'm Tavin Dillard. This is a Tavin Dillard podcast. Till next time, y'all guys. We'll see you later.